Good afternoon. This is Peskov. How can you hear me? We can hear you well. Excellent. Hello again. We are starting a new working week, March 23rd, Monday. Putin works in the Kremlin. Today, he will mainly devote his working day to the issues of the country's economic development. Today, he will hold a traditional meeting on economic issues. The government and the economic bloc are planning to participate. This includes Prime Minister Mishustin, First Deputy Prime Minister Manturov, Deputy Prime Minister Novak, Deputy Prime Minister Kusnulin, Minister of Economic Development Reshetnikov, Minister of Finance Siluanov, and Elvira Nabulina from the Central Bank, as well as the Deputy Head of the Administration on Economic Affairs Oreshkin. There will also be a series of regular meetings on the country's economic development. The President's opening remarks will be available to the media. Then, of course, it will continue in a closed format. The President also has other meetings planned today that will not be public. Do you have any questions? Good afternoon. May I? Yes, please. Thank you very much. Last September, Putin invited Kim Jong-un to visit Russia with a visit, and today Putin congratulated him on his re-election. Tell me, please, will the invitation remain in force, and will there be a specific date for the visit? Yes, Kim Jong-un has an active invitation to visit Russia with a visit. And as the dates for this visit are agreed on by diplomatic and other channels, such a visit will be possible. Of course, the leaders of the Korean People's Democratic Republic will always be happy to see him in Russia. Thank you very much. Anything else? May I ask a question from the USA press? Yes, please. Could you comment on the situation that is now unfolding around the Bush Air Force after Trump's threat? In particular, did the U.S. side contact the Russian side in any way to raise doubts about whether the Bush Air Force is included in this list of potential targets? Look, the Bush Air Force is a nuclear facility that is controlled by the United Nations, and Russia is in constant dialogue with the United Nations. You know that Russian President Vladimir Putin has repeatedly made very alarming statements in connection with the strikes that have already been made. Of course, this is a very big threat to security if this trend continues. Of course, the U.S. side is also transmitting the same signals. We consider the strikes on nuclear facilities to be potentially extremely dangerous and fraught with, perhaps, irreparable consequences. Therefore, the Russian side, taking an extremely responsible position on this issue, has repeatedly stated its concerns. Anything else? Thank you very much. Anything else, please? Hello. May I ask a question? Yes, please, writer. Thank you very much. How does the Kremlin perceive Trump's ultimatum to strike Iran's energy facilities and destroy them if Iran does not open the Hormuz Strait? We believe that the situation should have entered a regime of political diplomatic settlement yesterday. This is the only thing that can effectively facilitate the discharge of the catastrophically tense situation that has now arisen in the region. Thank you very much. And the second question, if you allow me, again about Iran. The Politico publication reported that Russia allegedly offered the U.S. to stop sharing intelligence with Iran if the U.S. stopped sharing intelligence with Ukraine. Did you see this message? Is it true that Russia is sharing intelligence with Iran? And how can you comment on all this? You know, we certainly saw this message. It refers to the category of false, or rather false messages. Next, please. Thank you, if you allow me. Go ahead, please. Could you comment on the detention of the French tanker Dane last Friday? I leave this without comment. This is the only thing I can say on this topic.